In a way, okay.
Okay, let's not finish this one, okay?
But I thought we didn't see comments. I'm used to looking on the computer.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I don't see the comments.
Oh, but.
Is that it?
Oh, that's.
No.
There we go.
No.
My video. Okay. We'll just do this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
All right. So.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
Welcome to our weekly live.
Yes. As always, we got some exciting things to share. Just more content, just more value. And then at the end, we like to take. I see what happened.
Questions.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh.
That's what's happening. Because there we go. It's kind of like we're like off.
Oh.
Bother me.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So we got some cool stuff to talk about today. We have like we always try to do. We always try to come to the table with things that are happening in our business, right up, fresh off the presses. So one of the things we've encountered recently is
Hey, G-Ma.
Hey, G-Ma. One of the things we encountered recently was our clients understanding the need for tracking their metrics. Now, if you've been in business any time, if you've launched your brand, if you have a product or service, no matter what that is, you always want to have a way to track how successful that is, right? And there's a lot of tools out here that gives you that ability. So we just want to have a quick discussion on that. I wanted to kind of take you down that path of understanding why it's beneficial to to track your metrics and what that means, what metrics are, what analytics are, and and how that benefits your business. So okay. So hold on a second. I need to reach over here to get some tone. There we go. So let's dive right into it. So why do you want to track metrics, right? Primary thing is, you're going to get a chance to get a, an understanding. You get an understanding, you get a perspective on what's effective with your brand, right? It lets you know what you're doing right and what you're not doing right. So what's metrics? Metrics is simply all of the numbers and the statistics. What's up, cuz? Okay. What's up with you, bro? Yeah, man. This dude. Yeah, we'll talk about it another time. But that's my boy right there, man. That's my fam. Anyway, so metrics is basically it's a way to track how successful you're being with anything that you're putting out with your brand,
right,
with your company, right? So it's the statistics of how your post, how your interaction is happening on your website. It's the numbers that lets you know how many people are coming, how many people aren't coming, right? It's the numbers, right? It's not the numbers from a financial standpoint, so to speak, but it's the numbers of and the statistics of how many people are interacting with your brand. It's the easiest way to sum it up.
With their content, the content that you're putting out there, how responsive they are to it.
Right. So
hey, Grandma Bernice said she's watching.
So Grandma, we got G-Ma, we got Grandma. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to have metrics as it's something you can't get away from, right? So it has to be a working part of your business.
Right.
Everything you do moving forward has to have needs to be based off of the metrics that you collect. So once again, I started talking about how it tells you what's working and what isn't working. It also allows you to identify where you can improve. So if we look in terms of social media, if you do a social post about if you have a clothing line, right, and you do a social post about a t-shirt, you'll be able to see the numbers and it'll let you know how many people were engaged with that post. It's going to let you know how far that post reached, right? If if it was just viewed by a few people, or if it actually was shared and and extended beyond your your normal feed of people that you would interact with. So having those numbers, it allows you to know where you can improve, right? And then another thing, why you want to track your metrics, it gives you perspective of who is actually interacting with your brand. It gives you some demographics of the type of people you're reaching. You may be making a product or service for a particular group of people, and let's say if you're like, I'm Black History Month is a great example. I want to make shirts for to represent African Americans for Black History Month. And as you look at the numbers and the metrics, the analytics, you'll start to see, wow, you know what? I'm actually having, Hispanics are actually buying my products more than African Americans. So that started to give you a little insight on who to target and start to just give you information that makes decision making better. You know what I mean? So. Right. So that's one of the big things about why you want to track metrics. It really just allows you to make better decisions and not make decisions based off of what's convenient or what you feel like is cool. We all know as you get older, what you think is cool is really just what's cool for your generation, right? So depending on the people you want to reach, depending on depending on what your goal is with your brand, and your target audience, you want to make sure that you're having you're putting out stuff that's going to connect with them. So so that's one of the main reasons. Anything you got on top of that?
No, you basically said it just like just to simplify it, like he mentioned. Tracking your metrics is important because it just basically tells you, like he said, what's doing right, what's doing wrong. Therefore, when you do post, when you're putting your content out there for your business, you can post with intention and you're just not blindly throwing stuff out there hoping that you could catch a client or catch a customer.
Yeah, I mean, I know how it was back in the day. I mean, I call it back in the day because it's not really the approach as much as it used to be. But, when you would post stuff for likes, right? You're like, oh, man, if I got likes, man, I'm on top of my game. And, business owners started to realize like, okay, I can have hundreds of likes, but if it's not translating to clients, making a decision to purchase the product or the service that I have, then, that's not really a gauge of success, right? So anyway, that's the reason why. Now, how are some ways you can track metrics, right? How are some ways you can pull analytics? Mm-hmm. Well, we decided to talk about 3 of the ways. One of them being for your website, right? So if you have a website, you want to have a way where you can track, how many people visit your website. You want to track what they're doing when they get there. You want to be able to see if they're, like we've talked about in the past, if they're doing the call to action that you have on your website. With the Branding Geeks, one thing we push for all the time is, does your website have a call to action? Are you telling your potential client to do a specific thing that's going to cause them to do business with you? Whether that be schedule a call, whether that be buy now, right? Learn more, right? Your full website needs to be pointing them in that direction. So, how do you track metrics and set up analytics? Well, you want to use a tool called Google Analytics. And it's something that you can get with a free Google account. Mm-hmm. And what happens is when you sign up for it, it gives you a code that you place in the back end of your website. If you want some instruction or assistance on that, definitely Kim's going to give all of the contact information at the end of this live. Definitely reach out to us. We'll help you and assist you with that. But you want to get this code on the back end of your website. And what it does is now it sets up a way to track all of the traffic and all of the things that are happening on your website, so that you can now begin to collect this data. And now, like we said before, you begin to make decisions off of it. You'll say, okay, you know what? I see that, on the homepage, there's 100 people hitting that page. but on my sales page, I'm getting like 2 people, right?
Right.
So how do I put more emphasis on getting people to my sales page? So Google Analytics is one. HubSpot is another choice that is a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but you know, there's some purchasing involved with getting their service, but you know, it'll definitely track it like you wanted to track. And then you have what you call it. If you build your website on any of the web tools, right, like WordPress, Squarespace, they have analytic tools as well. Let's see, we got a comment here.
Yeah, Maud said, 100% agree. I definitely use metrics when it comes to my YouTube and my fitness page. That's how I figure out what my audience rather see or not. It also helps me with my decision on the content I want to put out next. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Ahmad is a great example of a business owner making smart decisions, not just what's cool, right?
Right.
It's like, oh man, you know, this is dope. I think I should post it. It's like, well, you know, dope stuff don't really get you results, right? You want to make sure you're effective. So, you know, looking at those metrics is going to allow you to really make those decisions. What's up, my boy Marco? What's going on, bro? Anyway, so we're talking about some of the web tools, right? I mean, some of the web building tools. So you have Squarespace, WordPress. We talked about Google Analytics. We talked about HubSpot. So those are just some tools that once you put a code on your site, it's going to pull that information for you. Now, I'll be honest, it's not, once you get to Google Analytics, it's not the easiest thing to read. You got to kind of do a little Google searching on just how to read analytics and how to interpret it. Once again, Brandon Geeks are here. We can help you with that type of stuff, but it's very important. So that's on websites. Now, if you're an individual that you're selling products online, or you're selling your services or your coaching or anything of that nature, then you know you may have a landing page builder like ClickFunnels or Unbounce or Lead Pages. Now they're going to have some analytics tools on there as well, but some of those tools are an additional cost, right? It may be the entry level plan may be $50, and then to add analytics maybe $300, right? So here, I wanted to share some other options for landing pages that might give you that same ability. One of those being a tool called Hotjar. And Hotjar, you got Funnelytics, and if you really just do a Google search on how to track a landing page, there are going to be like probably 30 or 40 of them, right? But these are some of the ones that I've had a chance to use. Hotjar and Funnelytics, what they're going to do is they're going to allow you to track a path that your prospects are taking, which is very important because you start to see, you know, as you build a funnel, and a funnel is simply a collection of pages that lead an individual down a specific path for a call to action that you want them to take.
Right.
So they may come to your first page, which is called your landing page. When they hit that page, it's going to say, hey, this product is so amazing. I want you to buy it, or I want you to learn more about it. Click on this button to learn more about it. When you click on that button, it's going to have a pop-up or some type of form that comes up, and it's going to say, hey, before I give you this thing, go ahead and give me your email address, right? So once you exchange the email address, it takes you to another page. On that next page, it may give you, if you signed up for a downloadable PDF, it may give you a PDF, or it may be a webinar. It could be whatever on that next page, but there's going to be some call to action that may try to get you to buy something or go to the next step. So the combination of the pages and the way that you flow through it, that's called a funnel. Okay, so with that in mind, tools like Hotjar and Funnelytics, they track where a client goes through as he or she goes through each of these pages.
Right.
All right. So you want to get a tool so you can see, man, you know, every time a person gets to page 2 or 3 or 4 or wherever they fall, or however long your funnel is, it lets you know where they're falling off and where you need to make changes. Okay. So once again, that's a tool on how you track landing pages. For social media, it's a little easier. For social media, you can track analytics right there on the platforms. Kim could talk more about it. This is more her area, but on I know Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, they all have analytical aspects to them that allow you to track it. As well, there's the platforms I mentioned like HubSpot. HubSpot is like an all collective metric collecting tool that you can connect your social, your landing pages, your website to.
Right.
But Kim can tell you a little bit about Instagram and those and the things that they're tracking, because once again we talked a little bit about posts. You want to make sure when you're doing posts, when you're posting things that you can see the type of engagement it's getting. You want to like I said, likes used to be the barometer that we had, but likes don't really. They're not everything anymore. Like
they're not everything. Now you really have to actually post quality content, and not only just post quality content, but engagement has to be there. The more engagement you have, the more the algorithm will put you in front of the audience that you would need to be in front of. So quality content is what's needed.
Yeah, and like I said, those tools, going back to the how, right? So we talked about why, and then we're talking about how. So those tools, like I said, you can find them on the platforms that you are posting on. So every one of those platforms have their own analytical tools.
Right.
And then there's some third-party ones you can use as well. Yeah. You can find those by doing a quick Google search, or you can contact the Geeks. We'll help you with that as well.
Right.
Okay. So now, we talked about why, we talked about how, and it's like, okay, now I'm tracking metrics. Now what, right? What's the, now that I know that, yeah, right? I know all these numbers and all this stuff is cool, and now I know what I'm doing wrong and what's going right. Like, what's the point of this, right? And simply, it's really to get to the ultimate goal, and that ultimate goal is. What's up, man? Okay, I got the fam in the building. Okay, got my other cousin Rob. What's up, brother? The ultimate goal for tracking metrics is simply to make calculated decisions on what is successful and what's not successful concerning your business. So, now that you understand what metrics are and you understand how to track them. Now you can start doing some things. One of the strategies Kim and I employ with clients is A/B testing. And A/B testing is simply putting two. This could be posts. This could be blog posts, social posts. This can be landing pages. It's basically putting two options of a particular content that you're releasing to the world. You're putting up two options, and you're literally looking at the metrics side by side to see which one is more successful. So this is a strategy that really allows you to drill down and hone in on what's really working with your brand and what's not working, right? So this is something that as you get the initial information, we normally recommend that you take we normally say it takes about 2 to 3 months of collecting data initially, so that you can get an idea of you can get a feel of what the average interaction is with your brand, right? Once you determine that, now you can start pulling in A/B tests where you can say, okay, now that consistently I've been doing quote posts and I get like 50 people posting, 50 people interacting with that post. Let me start doing some tip posts and let's see how those people respond to that. And now you can look at it and say, you know what, quote post is my claim of fame, right? I got to stick with that. And then you come in with another test. You say, okay, I'm gonna test it against long testimonial posts. And you start the testing, because reality of this situation with marketing, sometimes marketers might try to make it seem like we do all these amazing things, and we do, don't get it twisted. But at the heart of marketing is testing. Hey, what's up? Good to see you again. At the heart of marketing is really testing. You're testing out different strategies.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. You're testing out different strategies, and you're looking to get down to the thing that's most effective.
Right.
So this A/B testing strategy is highly important because it's really just going to get you down to the bottom line, which is I want people interacting with my brand and taking that call action. I want them saying, hey, I'm here. You guys do websites. Sign me up. What do I need to do to get on a call with you so I can do a website? Hey, I'm here. You sell T-shirts. Okay. I want to put 2 or 3 T-shirts in the cart. So you want to figure out what that path is. And in order to get to that path, it starts with collecting data. Once you collect the data, you analyze the data by saying, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not working. And then you start to test that. And you say, you know what? Okay, now next week I'm going to try this.
Right.
And when you do A/B tests, and this will be the last thing I say on that, when you do A/B testing, you don't want to just strip everything away and do something totally different.
Right.
If something's working, you let it keep working, but you test little pieces of it. So if we're taking let's say we're looking at a landing page and you're having 50% conversion on that, right? You may do a A/B test of that same landing page and change the button color, or you may change the content, right? But you want to change things that you can measure and say, you know what? With me changing that title, it went from 50% to 75%.
Right.
Or with me taking away something, it dropped by a certain amount of percent.
Right.
So, all of those things we kind of went over earlier kind of gets you to this strategy of the core of what marketing is. You're testing and you're finding out what works best.
So you can be intentional with your posting.
Yeah, and so your business can grow. Like this is the part that sometimes we don't get a chance to discover.
Thanks, Latoya. She said great branding nuggets. Thanks for sharing. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. This is good. I'm glad